Alright, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. This is going to be the kickoff to the 2013 NFL season. I have been making good old football videos here for a good little while, and honestly they're a good little break to take from constantly talking about the world of wrestling. It's always fun. A good number of my wrestling viewers come over, and then I also have a good number of 49er fans that also watch these videos as well. If you don't know, I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. I have been all my life. It has been a great time to be a 49er fan. I guess you can say the last 2 to 3 seasons. But I was a good fan all the way through the bad times. I've seen this San Francisco 49er team have seasons where they've won 2 games, 4 games, and through it all, I've tried to find the bright spots. So to be able to have a team go to the NFC Championship game, have another team go all the way to the Super Bowl, even if those games ended in losses, they were huge wins. There was times when Steve Young went down, Jeff Garcia left us due to us being morons, and releasing him and Terrell Owens in the same year, handing the ball over to Ken Dorsey and Tim Rattay and a lot of other bonehead moves. I'm not one to really throw eggs. I was always really a guy who really liked Alex Smith, and I sort of made excuses for him along the way. And last year was the changing of the guards. We hand the ball over to our new quarterback, our quarterback of the future, and we're going to have to see where it goes. I think we gave a great quarterback to Kansas City, a team that I honestly really don't know that much about. When it came down to picking my Week 1 NFL picks, whoever it was Kansas City picked, or I'm sorry, whoever Kansas City played, I had to ask somebody about him, like, what the hell do I do with this game? I have no clue. It's going to be fun to be a 49er fan this year. We have a really tough division. It's going to be us. It's going to be the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to be an improved football team. I don't think they're going to be a real powerhouse, but even though they finished 5-11 last year, they're going to be making a lot of moves. And they're not going to lay down for nobody in the West. The Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks, all 3 of those teams, I can see all 3 of us splitting those teams. A lot of people don't put the Rams as like a top 10, top 12, a team, or even give them a chance of making like the playoff berth for the NFL. The Rams are a good fucking football team, offensively and defensively. Jeff Fisher is a great coach, and the Niners didn't play them that well last year. They gave them honestly a whole lot of trouble. And this year, the Niners, a lot of people put them on top. As of right now, I'm looking at the NFL power rankings through ESPN. They honestly have the Seahawks first. They have the Falcons number 2 and the 49ers number 3. This is a make or break year for the 49ers. I think a lot of people have picked them as one of the best teams in the NFL in the last 2 years. And I think that one year they went to the NFC Championship game. They were mildly a little bit of a surprise. Even to me, I took them as a team that was just pulling it out on luck week in and week out. We weren't really blowing teams out. We were winning games on our last drive, field goals here and there in the last seconds. And that was a real fun year to be a football fan. Now this year, a lot of people are, It's just hard to be a Niners fan, because when you look at what we're gonna have to do to get over that hump. Maybe last year, maybe not so much the year before. People weren't really looking for us, but we're a target that people are gonna be looking for week in and week out, and because of how well we did last year, we have it real tough. This year we start out Green Bay, Seattle, Indianapolis, St. Louis, and Houston before we play a game against Arizona. Now, I don't really see us going 0-5. I don't really see us going 1-4. But we could go 3-2. I mean, 2-3. Man, I don't know. it's going to be tough. I mean, like, this game against Green Bay, people are saying that, Green Bay's not what they were. Green Bay's going to come out. Green Bay's going to play. Aaron Rodgers is a damn good quarterback. People like to say that, they don't have the offensive weapons that they once did. Go back to that year they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. Every fucking guy on that team except Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and they kept plugging people in, week out. People said they couldn't do it because they didn't have a running back. The running back, what's his name? He got hurt week 1. Cobb? I think it was Cobb. Cobb got hurt week 1. And they went all that time with the backup running back. Put them on the map. Won the Super Bowl. Boom. Seattle. Damn. Russell Wilson, damn good quarterback. A lot of guys on that team surrounding him. He's got a lot of offensive weapons. That team got real hot last year. I'm expecting them to be real hot this year. The Indianapolis Colts, that's a team that really surprised me, but they made the playoffs. We're going to see what goes on with there. Like I said, St. Louis is going to be tough. Houston has always been an awesome fucking team, especially early on in the year. They've had some seasons where they die out at the end, but damn, we don't have it good. We don't have it tough. A lot of people this year have been talking about the quarterback controversy. Not really the quarterback controversy because they're not on the same team, but who is better? Colin Kaepernick or Russell Wilson? I can honestly say, as a football fan, I was really upset. I was really hurt. As big as this rivalry is supposed to be between the 49ers and the Seahawks, I know it's only a fucking video game, but these guys don't need to be sitting on the couch together, doing commercials, playing games. I know they probably did this commercial in the off season, maybe early into the camps and preseason on some off day. And, they're young guys, they don't really hate each other in real life. But as a fucking 49er fan who's going into this season as a make-or-break year that, we have to get over this hump, we have to win this thing, I don't want to be sitting with the enemy. I don't want to be hanging out barbecuing in the parking lot with these guys. That really hurt, and that sucked. Some people have been saying that, Colin Kaepernick could be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Ron Jaworski from ESPN said this. He's played 10 games in the NFL. Some of these games have been playoff games. One of these games has been a Super Bowl. But only a few of these games have been a regular season. Only one time he's played somebody that he's played twice in the same year, and that was Seattle, and they kicked the shit out of us. A lot of people are going to be watching tape on, what both of these quarterbacks should be doing. Both of them coming in with their first years in the NFL. Kaepernick and Russell Wilson, are going to be very heavily studied. Both of them are changing the way the quarterbacks look in the NFL, moving towards a new direction. Defense is going to be changing to set up, The way that Kaepernick ran all over the Bears last year, that shit ain't going to happen again. These guys have had very few games in the NFL, and defenses are going to swallow these guys up. One of these guys, if not both of these guys, should have, good chunks of this season where they have sophomore slumps. Could they both be great quarterbacks? Yes. But honestly, in my opinion, the odds are more than likely stacked against these guys. And we're going to really have to go on and see what happens. I am a big fan of the 49ers. I'm going to try and change the rest of this video where I talk about teams that aren't in the NFC West. Honestly, on paper, if I had to go to Vegas, Reno, something like that, go to some sort of a sports book, and I had to put money down on which team I think is going to win this year's Super Bowl, I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons. They're who I've picked in my my pick'em pool that I have with my buddies, who last year I was the champion, the best in the world. I was supposed to be the champion the year before, but I ran out of gas. We've ran this league 3 years, twice with a real pick'em system, and this year's going to be bigger and better than ever. Most of my good friends here from the YWC all join in. Hopefully Team Rai will accept the invitation. The good old Bears fan. What's going to happen with the Bears this year? Bears bringing in a brand new coach. The guy's face I've never really heard or never really seen before. Is Cutler going to be able to pick up the West Coast offense? This is going to be, a big change for Cutler. And Cutler was the guy who went, when he went to the Bears, he had the one horrible year where he just seems like he doesn't have any offensive protection. He finally opened his mouth and ran about it, and just it made a big stink about it. I just kept saying, if they ever get this guy a receiver, he'll be all right. They kept on wanting to stick, that fucking Bears return man. The guy who kept on running the punt returns and kick returns, one of the best kick and punt returners the league's ever seen. They kept on just trying to, we'll just put him as the number one receiver. Every time he put the ball in his hands, they'll have a chance to score. That shit didn't work. The guy's got to get open. The guy's got to catch the ball. I don't know. I always secretly really, root for the Bears, just as long as you don't beat the Niners. Good franchise. Don't want to see them down. Another team that I've always sort of rooted for, and I always thought it was honestly just because Jeff Fisher was the coach there and how big of a fan I am of his. It sucks that guy's in the NFC West. Tennessee Titans. Make or break year, I guess you can say, for Locker there. Last year they finished 6-10. Are they going to make the moves that they need to climb up? One of the biggest things that I've seen is just consistency. With this football team, they've come out and they've surprised some teams, and they've just came out and they've just straight up laid down for some teams. If I want to talk about some Oakland Raider football, they're always close to me. Some of my good friends are Raider fans, and my dad's a Raider fan, and I have some family members, so on and so forth. It seems like Matt Flynn, the move coming down from Seattle isn't really going to pan out. They're going to go with Terrell Pryor, which is funny because here in Sacramento we were getting reports that after that preseason game that he had some sort of a collarbone issue. I guess they're just praying that that arm doesn't fall off for them, but we'll have to see what happens with them. Some people have them as the worst team in the NFL. I think last year I went out and I actually picked this team to win the West. Fuck that shit. I ain't picking that again. Gonna go with Peyton Manning. Take the smart pick there. Sorry, Raider fans, but we'll have to see what happens here. I mean, Darren McFadden is a guy that goes out, starts the beginning of the season real hot, takes one hit that doesn't really ever look that bad, and 2 years in a row limped off the field and never really came back. McFadden's a good back. They're going to have to see, maybe were they just sitting him because they didn't have anything to play for and he was that good that they didn't want to take the chance of him getting hurt worse? I have no clue. Buffalo Bills, you guys sucked. You guys took the worst player for your team in your quarterback. That name escapes me from the NFL draft. I was really rooting for this guy coming out of FSU, but now that he's in the NFL and the Buffalo system, shit ain't gonna work, man. Think of how many games they play in the cold, and you have this sort of mobility running guy. He ain't gonna move like that in the snow. In the fucking cold, the kid came from Florida. It just ain't gonna work. This is gonna be horrible, horrible. Think of the Bills. They're gonna play their games in Buffalo. They're gonna play games in New York against the Jets. They have games in New England against the Patriots. Fuck that, man. You guys are straight up in the cold all the time. Same thing's going to be said about Mark Sanchez. When the hell is he going to get out of the Jet system, and if he can even get anywhere? I was really hoping this year they were going to cut him, trade him somehow, make his way to we can move to a team sort of like the Chargers, who I thought was going to take that move to actually dump their quarterback as well, see how long they can flounder down there. Chargers are a team that just has needed a big flip for a long time. Phillip Rivers is a real good quarterback, but he hasn't been able to get it done. And, if you have just a sort of a really good quarterback who just can't get it done, what's the point of really keeping him around from there? The Bucks, you fucking let me down last year, and you're not my team to watch again this year. This year, I'm going to go out and I'm going to limb. I'm going to pick the Carolina Panthers. I sort of knew that they weren't going to be as good as I thought they were going to be last year, finishing out the year 7-9. But Cam Newton, I see, can have a year where he sort of comes back. He's got some receivers and some runners around him. It's going to be good. That defense in Carolina has always been a little bit above average, and I really see them being good. Who knows what the fuck's going to happen with them Cowboys? I know people always like to hear about them. Last year, finishing the year 8-8. I would love to see them honestly really go 0-16. That's not going to happen. Tony Romo is always sort of like the guy who always gets, Tony Romo's the guy who always sort of gets this extra sort of bonus points when you talk about this guy. I don't know how long this guy's been in the league, but if it's been 2005, 2006, it's got to be somewhere in there, because I remember I was living in my old house when he was a rookie, and I've lived here for a good little while now, and that's how I figured things out. But every year they talk about in the offseason, like this is the year he's going to get figured out, like he's some second year or third year star. This guy's been under center, under that big spotlight for the Cowboys for a long time, and it's going to be time that Jerry Jones needs to put his quarterback under the hot lights and see what the hell is going on with these guys. But hope everybody has a good NFL season. Pick some winners. I got the Falcons winning it all, but secretly I got them Niners, baby. Peace out.